Hello and welcome to Let's Play Disco Elysium Part 38. So after a rather disturbing phone call, we've also had some rather disturbing thoughts. So as tempting as it is to potentially acquire better abilities at opening juicy containers and finding what's inside them, the wasteland of reality might be a slightly more useful thought to process. It's been brought to your attention that you're an alcoholic and it's a sickness and it's killing you. Maybe you can quit. That sounds like positive character development to me. So I think the most useless thought is this one, over productive honour glands. So I'm going to forget that one. And let's think about the wasteland of reality. It'll take quite a long time to think about, but I hope it will be worth it. Right, where am I going? Where am I going is a good question. So I think I've got tasks back at the Whirling in Rags. Okay, let's travel there. Hey, Lena. What's up?
Hello, dear. It's good to see a familiar face.
The elderly woman smiles up at you hopefully. I think I'd really like to hear about more cryptids.
You know, to hell with it. Let's have more cryptids.
Yeah, Kim's getting into it.
Of course, officers. Is there a particular cryptid you two are interested in learning about?
What's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the giant of Coconur.
She says, as if it's common knowledge.
The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Coconur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Wait, what do you mean, strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
She does not elaborate the nature of this luminance further. And just how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Coconur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Here. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Coconur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Coconur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Great. This is great shit. You need more. Gravity anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
And the tiniest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
But Kim, don't you want to hear about another cryptid too?
The lieutenant pauses, thoughtfully. Something in him breaks.
Ah, fuck it. Let's have more cryptids.
Yeah, I thought you got there already, mate.
Well, the smallest cryptid is the Cryobacter catlensis, a unicellular bacterium. It was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Katla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanu found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanu disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
It's actually a little hard to see.
He's right.
But do go on.
Kim looks at her skeptically. You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
The gnome of Jeroma? That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it is. None of his victims survived. Her even relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
What did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
She looks at you, her voice grave suddenly.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
The lieutenant just can't help himself.
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
She says, mostly to herself.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
Seems very convenient that it just disappeared and nothing like it was seen again.
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out. Their disappearance is most memorable, and they are least likely to be found again.
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
Shush, Kim, she's going to tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as a whisper, light and low.
A whisper, light and low.
Yes, that's another translation.
Her eyes light up
They're
behind the
both quite
glasses.
lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mama d'Aqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Everywhere and nowhere, baby.
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here? Look around. Right now?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
What evidence is there that this animal could being a sound?
plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagi ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Just nod eagerly.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Koldumamadakwa, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them.
Name them.
Sequester, Time, Joscan. Those are but some of the Mamadakwa they followed individually.
Why is the Mamadakwa so afraid of us?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction?
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadakwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
She nods gravely.
This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing.
She is.
Psst. They cancel each other out.
They cancel. Oh, I know this one. They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her. A wending cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Koltumamadakwa population anywhere.
Of course, a common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear.
Interesting.
What about what? Of course, dear.
So, I've restocked the empty trap. Where's Morel?
Thank you for doing that, dear.
She manages a smile for you.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
She looks down at her hands. Only the hardcore players left, huh?
Yes. Field work is a young person's game, as they say.
She smiles a cautious smile.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
So, who's going to check the traps?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Well, once more into the breach then. Take it on with undue optimism.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
A cough? No. No! Is it the Rona?
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Lena, what's wrong? You seem different.
Different? How?
The half moons of her glasses reflect you as she looks up at you. You're not telling me the whole story.
I'm not. It's not that.
She doesn't know how to end the sentence. What is it?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
She looks down, biting her lower lip.
And when a police officer asks, you must answer.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
But Morel told me you'd seen it. You also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
You seem to really believe it happened. Doesn't that count for something?
No, sweetie. There's more to it than that. Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too.
Oh, Lena, you are a queen.
That I am a queen?
Yeah.
An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now we're both getting old and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong?
She shakes her
I
head,
think I was.
still unable to meet your eyes.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
Okay. First, tell her that her marriage wasn't a lie.
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
And I need something good here.
All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
Wrong or not, your relationship with Morel isn't just about the phasmid.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? Just another pathetic old couple. If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
You know, this reminds you of the Pericanassian theory of love. In essence, love is a relay out of death. Generation by generation, our love remains in our progeny. Lay some of that on her.
Well, they haven't got any children, so I'm not sure that actually. I think I'll go with the it makes me feel okay. Normally, when I think about stuff like women and marriage, I feel bad. But when I think about you, Morel, I feel okay. That counts for something, no?
Oh, of course it counts for something.
Yay.
But we've had our hard times too.
She looks down at her legs.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived. On our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I didn't tell him that story...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
Thing is, I'm not sure you made it up either.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day, like a benevolent god.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock. before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Are you sure you don't need help getting to Gary's?
Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
You do that. I'll check the traps one more time.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
She looks at you, worried.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Can I have your address, just in case there's news?
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road. Jamrock, but...
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
The rest of it is pretty grim. Thanks for bringing some light.
You're welcome, sweetie. I'm glad it helped you, even though it turned out to be a...
She flicks a switch on her chair and the engine turns into a whir. Her sentence remains unfinished.
A waste of time. A dream. A fool's hope. Say her lips moving in silence. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, the cold, coastal wind blows.
We should go too.
Has Titus got anything to say
It's
to us?
you again. What is it?
No, nothing. Do we have to... have to put skill points into logic? Okay. We could probably do that. Let's have a looky. Logic. My logic's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, but we've still got a way to go. Okay.
It's you again.
It is.
What is it?
Ooh, right, so we've got a good chance. But I might want to... I'm not sure I've got it like boosted up as high as it could be. And we've got all our logic outfit on. Come on, gotta have a logic outfit, right? Logic. No, composure. Logic. That's minus logic. So there you go, logic glasses. That's a hell of a lot better already. Come on, no drama. Plus one logic. As opposed to... It's two logic, okay. It's not great. It might be all logicked up, you know. Yep. Try that then.
It's you again.
It is me.
What is it?
Come on. We'll logic our way through this. 92%.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze.
Woohoo!
Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Why are you so sure that Ruby didn't off him?
So that's what you were squinting at. You were trying to come up with a theory, weren't you? That she did it.
Yeah, he was cobbling together shit so he could put her away. It's RCM 101.
Well, let old Titus set your mind at ease then. She didn't do it. She was here all night.
Sunday night, 11:30 to 12:15. She was here all that time?
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
He points to the karaoke stage. She didn't go to the toilet.
No.
In the whole 45-minute window, she was with you all the time.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Culp.
He points to the intersection.
That's probably for the best. Don't break your stride now.
And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
He taps on his temple.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you can still mess this up.
You do agree the shot came from the roof, right?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez.
Well...
Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
There's a 72% chance that bullet came from the roof.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
Yes, big lab, back in Jamrock, the Jamrock Ballistics Lab.
Wouldn't hurt to have one of those in Martinez. Still, all the labs in the world don't put her on that roof. How'd she get there? Climb?
Have you noticed the winch out back on the outer wall of the whirling?
I've seen the winch. I'm not blind. You saying she reeled herself up by her collar, like some kind of...
He can't come up with an analogy.
Kidding?
Let's go with that. Point is, it's just a rusty winch. It doesn't put her on the roof.
Ruby could have got into the roof from somewhere inside the whirling.
Nah, the only way up there is through Clausia's room.
How much do you guys know about this place?
We've only been drinking here for what? 6 years? How much do we know?
Been thinking of getting whirling in racks. That is on my ass, boss.
Yeah.
There
do it,
you
LA.
go. Tatted on his ass. We know the place.
There's a locked door in the kitchen and another on the roof. Ever been through those?
No, but that doesn't prove anything.
It's just 2 dolls. We're not giving you Ruby for that. She's one of us.
What if they're connected by the winch, Eugene? That is your name, right, Eugene?
The lieutenant leans closer to Eugene.
If they are connected, she could have gone to the kitchen, gone up, shot him on the roof, then come down. All in 5 minutes. How about that?
Yes, she could have. This is one long shot.
He shakes his head, but the look in his eyes shows interest.
Tell you one thing, I liked how that goddamn winch came up again. That was nifty.
Yeah. We've firmly established that Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot.
Firmly? Try shit on a stick. All you've established is a possible route to the roof that you haven't found. And even then, a route doesn't put that bullet in the Burke's head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon.
Murder weapon.
Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun.
Aha. Show him the antique rifle. There are weapons like this one, just laying around Martinez.
That looks antique. A Belle McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
He takes the gun, inspects it, and hands it back to you. There's a cellar under the bookshop. It was hidden there, with others just like it.
20, maybe 30 rifles, Titus. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
Okay, I see your point.
And they knew
there
about
are guns
it.
lying around. Damn it. I thought we'd found all the old spots. Why was that still there?
Okay. He shakes his head.
We just missed one. Ruby doesn't know this place, boss. Just these cops digging up shit.
I have analysed the bullet that killed him. It was jacketed.
So,
The man shrugs and looks at you.
So it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those. This goes against your short-range theory. If the murder weapon was military grade, how did Ruby get it?
You don't know. Just be honest. Screw honest. You just showed him a breech-loading gun.
Yes, I just showed you a breech loader that any child could have.
A broken old broomstick is what you showed me. But point taken.
I didn't say I'd prove she had the murder weapon, just that we need to find her.
All right, Carl. Keep talking. I'll tell you when I've had enough.
Pete, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Glenn almost gets up from his seat.
Phase 3. Motive.
Ooh.
The last component.
I
The
think
big
we
one.
might be
Get this
convincing
and they'll
him.
give her to you.
Yeah,
Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
don't piss him off. Let's... Oh, why did she organise the cover-up? No, leadership challenge doesn't seem likely. Okay. It's not why did she kill him, it's why did she organise the cover-up.
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Ooh.
really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Eugene, let's assume you killed him.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Would you prefer to go on trial with your friends as part of a lynch mob or alone for committing murder?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardy Code, boss.
Which is why she didn't. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
The blonde man waves his beer around.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Titus looks grim.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town.
Ooh.
This is good.
Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. We need to talk to her.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods.
Oh, Theo. Thank you, Theo.
A very small nod. And a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip. This is the only option he cares for.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Want to know why?
He smiles a peculiar smile. Why?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
He looks you straight in the eye.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior, why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Titus looks out the window again. Okay. When did she leave?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
What was she scared of?
I told you. You.
Me? Personally?
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
No wonder she was afraid. I've come to declare the ending of the human experiment.
Sure. The human experiment. That's real funny.
He looks at you without smiling.
You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
He measures you up. What else did Ruby tell you about me?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Well, I won't stop, and I won't stop changing my outfit depending on the stats required.
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener,
Cool.
that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just?
The tattooed man shakes his head.
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did.
Yes, I did.
Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
It's not an actual question. Silence. He nods.
Is it true, Kim? Am I a can opener?
You are insistent.
He nods. Anything else? Anything?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This cop, Titus, this cop, he... But she was too scared.
Scared? You should be too. A strange fear creeps over you. A metallic taste in your mouth. Change the subject.
Do you have any clues of where Ruby went?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry. So, she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al. And we won't either.
Titus gives Al a sharp look.
She's not really a party candidate anymore, is she?
Glenn stares into his beer.
She's not, Glenn.
Have you looked for her?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlock. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
He nods southwest. Can you tell me where on the coast I should start looking?
Sure, there's some shit houses there, a cinder block town. The fisherfolk there refuse to unionize, so that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there.
Oh, right.
One more question.
Maybe
What does Ruby look like?
Good question.
Boyish, hair's red, dyed. She looks like a lorry man.
Do you know where she's... do you know what she's doing with ULAN frequencies? Ooh.
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
She said she's building a pale emitter.
Fat Angus's voice is very quiet.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment.
She said she's doing Ulan frequencies at a hail something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Hail something.
It feels like you'll get to know
Yeah.
soon enough.
Okay, it's not much, but it'll do.
It'll have to.
Titus puts his hand out. Shake it.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
You should be a cop, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Right, so it's 10 o'clock. I think it's time to go get our gun. Wow, we cracked that. Or should I say we opened it like a can opener. Whoa, lots of thoughts.
Was that? Could it be?
Wait.
The Kolda Mama Dakwa? It's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Is it? Is there a ringing? Listen more closely.
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird.
But we're not just a regular human, we're a can opener.
Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbour, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always?
Listen closely first.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Wait, Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise?
No, I don't hear the Koldomama Dakwa, and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf.
Exactly. Move your head towards the sound.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away.
No.
Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
No, come back, please.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
And what's this other thought?
You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That Ruby of yours?
Yeah, and?
Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Clasia. It was nice and Ruby-centric in the end.
What do you mean?
Anything strike you a bit off about this mishmash?
Well, the bullet didn't have to come from the roof. It could have come from anywhere on the coast.
Absolutely. It could have come from anywhere, but you're suddenly so certain it came from the roof behind the window.
Gotta follow all leads. The bullet was jacketed. These don't just lie around everywhere, do they?
Good point. It is rather rare these days, but do continue.
And so far, no one has mentioned hearing a shot.
Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you.
Okay.
That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now. You know that. Free as a bird on that roof, lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me? Don't listen to this guy. The theory was solid. He's just jealous. Move on. It's no use harassing her further.
Yeah, but we do have to think about all of the evidence. I think we've harassed Clasia quite a lot. Hang on. Where was I going? It's distracted me. I was going to get my gun back. It's damn important. So, 10. I hope we can be on the dot.
Put your hands where I can see them.
The aging woman under a mountain of police paraphernalia mumbles to herself, then notices you and reaches for the megaphone.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands! Right now!
She screams into the megaphone.
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Whoa, Kim.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
I don't feel comfortable being separated from my multitude.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress! I am the police. Don't move. Don't move. Hands on your head. Suspect is armed and dangerous.
No, Mom, I am the police. I need you to calm down. We just want to talk.
Lateral vascular neck restraint. Carotid
The what
sleeper.
now?
Carotid sleeper. Critically reducing blood from passing through the neck of the suspect.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
This is dangerous.
Oh.
You're 70% certain you always leave your gun loaded.
Whoa. You're not the police. We are the police.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Status unconfirmed!
She lowers the megaphone halfway, but immediately raises it again. Baby, you know who I am. Everybody knows. Wink.
I do?
The question is... Ooh.
No,
Aggravated assault! Man down! Suspect on foot!
There's a scenario unfolding in her head right now. It has nothing to do with what's happening here.
What's the situation, officer?
The lieutenant hesitates, addressing the woman.
Law enforcement compromised! Impersonating a police officer!
Wait, what if she's right and I actually am an imposter?
Now? It's not the time.
We really are cops. Look, my badge. Take out your badge and show it to her.
License and registration! License and registration! Come in, dispatch! Sector! Sector! Azimuth!
She repeatedly bashes the megaphone against her head, then screams in the bloody mouthpiece.
She's losing it. One twitch and there will be blood.
Please identify yourself, Mom.
It's the goddamn police, shitbag! Cut the pavement! You're under arrest!
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine or drugs? She thinks she's a police officer. Try treating her like a police officer. A lower-ranking police officer.
Okay. Officer Pigs, double your freighter Harrier Dubois, requesting your sidearm for inspection. Hold out your badge.
What?
She lowers the megaphone and stares at the gun in her hand. Patrol officer, you are in gross violation of the RCM Code of Conduct.
Sir?
She hesitates, looking around in confusion. The three-barreled pepper box wavers in her hand. Patrol officer, I have to sign you up for a disciplinary hearing. Slowly shake your head.
Easy. Press her too hard and shit.
With a swift, poorly coordinated move, the woman slams the megaphone against her lips and teeth. A trickle of blood runs down her chin. She doesn't notice it.
Officer compromise! Unlawful impersonation! Pigs en route! Engage your will!
Okay, she's actually more agitated now. My bad.
Are you on drugs?
Confiscated contraband. Restricted access. 2 kilos missing. Eyewitness report compromised.
The megaphone makes her voice almost painfully metallic.
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Or should we try? Should we try the hand-eye coordination? Or... We don't have much of a chance, do we? Okay, we can solve this peacefully. Please lower the weapon.
Officer in need of assistance. Suspect alert. Get on the ground.
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
The lieutenant is trying to maintain eye contact. Let's just talk, alright?
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot. Big red key. Big red key.
Her head snaps at you. Okay.
Big red key. That's code for the battering ram.
Ooh,
Cop talk.
is this gonna
You
help?
know this. What happened to make her like this? Loneliness. Yes, sure, but also in a less abstract way. The neurodegenerative disease I mentioned earlier.
Mom, we're here to help. Tell us what's wrong.
The woman looks at you, but through you, like you don't exist. Her eyes gleam feverishly, and the rotating police beacon lights reveal deep scratch marks on her cheeks.
This is the police. Unlawful engagement. Hands on the ground. Scumbag.
She howls through her megaphone.
So this is what the weather's like on the other end of a cop's gun.
We just want to help. That's all.
Fascinating.
The lieutenant's eyes stay fixed on the woman and her gun. He studies them closely.
See? This is what happens when we are not around.
You either say we'll deal with it later or try the hand-eye coordination. I think that's the only option we've got. Let's try it.
All right.
Wow.
This is how we do it.
Whoa.
You hurl the tear bag in her face.
The tear
already
bag?
darting right, and immediately close the distance. Left hand grabs the barrel, right one breaks the wrist.
Whoa.
No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all 3 barrels, red and blue light shining through. It's not loaded.
Okay. Oh. Go ahead. Pull the trigger. I dare you.
Suicide by cop. Split second decision. Eat lead, scumbag.
For a moment there.
The lieutenant exhales sharply.
I was 80% sure the gun is empty, and still the instinct almost took over.
What is this? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real.
The old woman looks at the treacherous weapon.
These guns have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
The gun lands on the wooden planks and tears run down her scratched cheeks.
She looks devastated. Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
Pick up the gun.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Her voice is growing fainter as she rocks back and forth, slowly.
Great gears are grinding to a halt. The machine is powering down. She's all out of jolt.
We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Poor woman. The lieutenant holsters his pistol.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
Oh, the old woman mumbles, staring blank at the sidewalk, or even the boardwalk. You're not alone. We're all here.
The A woman stands in front of you, motionless, unresponsive, almost like an inanimate object now. A mountain of police paraphernalia. In there she is alone, trapped in a world of blue and red lights. Her children and their children, if there were any, stopped coming when it got really bad.
What do you think is happening to her?
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this.
But why do you think she's like this in the first place?
Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8 and loneliness.
Not neurodegenerative disease.
Could be. Her hands were trembling and she did seem uncoordinated. But what are we gonna do with her?
Should we just arrest her?
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state and without a gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family.
Yes, Titus sounds like the man for the job.
Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late and
late.
they might have already gone home.
Ooh.
But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
She mutters. It seems like a reflex, a half-remembered sentence.
Reflex to what? Being left alone. She stands motionless. Just a heap of clothes and flashes now. Maybe if you search her once more.
Well, I think that's all for now. We did a lot. We found out a lot about the case. Or did we? And we've got our gun back. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And check out my Patreon. Thank you for watching, and farewell. Thank you to my epic patrons who make videos like these possible. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe.